You guys bored of me posting YouTube videos yet? We had about 5 weeks with no videos and now you're probably like, dude, chill. Anyway, I've got a couple of hours. I figured I'd get a head start on pulling this engine apart. So, first I got to drain the oil tank. This was quite a complicated thing to get set up because I wanted the oil tank as low as possible, fuel tanks as low as possible obviously as well. That's sunk into the floor, had some significant work done. I had to remake this bar here to clear the fuel tank. But yeah, this has what you can maybe just about make out there is banjo leading to a bulkhead leading to a drain there, which hopefully I won't have to counter hold. But yeah, done this once already, post dyno. Try not to make too much of a mess because Jay did a fantastic job of 2 days of cleaning up after the destruction of all the work that we did in those 5 weeks. So yeah, I'll do my best, Jay. If I make a mess, sorry, just doing what you'd do. Lots of water at first, I imagine. No goodies so far, which is nice. What I'll do in a moment is I'll pull the belt off the dry sump pump and I'll spin that up with a drill to get as much of the oil back to the tank and therefore draining as I can before I start making a mess at the front. Should do it. Let's hope we haven't done too much damage to the bearings with this water contamination. Things to note, now I've got the intake off. It's a lot of soot coming back up the intake. Obviously it just about the same on this side, maybe not quite as bad, but yeah. Ooh, we did see some fire coming out the ITBs when we're doing the sort of stabbing the throttle, trying to get that throttle enrichment right, but yeah, seems like quite a lot for a new engine. And now you can see some of the busyness underneath that intake. You see the bulkhead connectors, Jay's fantastic wiring that he did there, my dash 12 into dash 20. One of those is hidden. It's got to be a really specific orientation to get through into the tunnel area. But yeah, I'm just going to undo these, drain a bit of water, take the valley plate off. Then alternator, I think, has to come off before I can take the manifold off. Actually, to get the alternator off, I think I've got to get the front off. Let's just get it all off. Let's make some more mess then. Quick 20-minute tidy up. Let's get rid of some of the water now. Slight interlude. These works are two-piece welded, and you can actually return them once to have them rebarreled. So I'm just making some cuts here, and Jay's Monday morning job is all right.
Yeah, lovely.
And obviously we don't need to do the cutting ourselves, but we're going to save massively on shipping. I'm going to get 3 wheels in one of those boxes to send back to work, and hopefully they can turn it around pretty quickly. We're going for a 20mm difference in offset, which basically will move that spoke to kind of around about there and allow me to do what I want with the suspension on this thing, and I'll probably still have to do something with the arches. But we'll deal with that when we need to. 1 down, 2 to go. This one's, we've had it for years actually, with really badly damaged wheel that we kind of just used as a spare. We've got 5 of these wheels in total, we're just doing 3. And hopefully they repaint them, because we had a terrible go at matching that some years ago.
Just that's them nicely.
Yeah, just say, pretty please. Obviously we'd reorder these if it was possible. I'd just order new wheels, but they don't do the M1R anymore, and all of our, I think we've got 11 rears, so I don't fancy buying new wheels for the rears at the same time. Yeah, good little option this, apart from this bit for Jay. Yeah. Jay's been working some magic. So, we did already do a kind of pressure test on the water system when we were on the dyno, and we noticed that that intake bolt thing was bubbling And we didn't see any significant pressure drop. We had like a pump in the radiator at the back of the car. Didn't see anything significant, but what we're doing now, we're going to do it once it's out of the engine, out of the car, I imagine. But we've blocked off water, gaskets, and we've got a Schrader valve here. And we're just going to apply probably 120 psi.
Oh, yeah.
And the idea is we're going to put the pressure into there, and we're going to remove bolts. So there is a theory that maybe I've punched through with an engine mount bolt.
Out of any of the ports or anything first.
Yeah, we've got to block the steam ports here, and yeah, who knows? We might be able to see something pretty obvious. Although knowing our luck, we'll see. And I'm just disassembling the daily engineering pump. Well, not disassembling, just getting rid of the orb fittings and taking the pulley off so we can get that sent over to the US for service. In our usual high standard of YouTubing, now the engine's magically removed from the car.
Just getting it done.
Da, 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 da. So one of the questions was, have I put a bolt in too far with the engine mounts? As you can see, that's pretty damn deep. That one, no, that one. That one. So yeah, lots and lots there, and these are only yay long. Doing the other side.
I think it's the same, but you can check them if you want.
Yeah, same exact. Yeah, so I can pretty much say.
Yeah, you loads are in.
Yeah, that versus what we're doing with the bolts through that engine mount. There is no way that I've put that in too far, but you know, that's one thing eliminated, onto the next. Okay, sealant's holding now. What's that sort of, well, 14 psi, 1 bar, something like that. And nothing leaking just yet. Can't hear anything. So we'll just see whether that drops.
So that's the bolt. So we haven't put too long a bolt in.
Nah, that's
which
what
we're a bit concerned about.
But still, that bit that was bubbling up oil. There was no question that.
Yeah, maybe it goes into the head cavity. Maybe it's great. Sometimes, like on our lesses and the rocker arm, when you bolt the rocker arms to the heads, they can come through into the ports, into the thing they leak oil in that.
Right.
You have to seal the studs. So sometimes they break through in places, but I'm not.
And it's not leaking at all now.
No.
But we are seeing a pressure drop here. So we had 4.5 bar in there to start off with, and now considerably less than that. So yeah, trying to find some soapy water, spray down the entire thing. It's gone down to it's below 2.
Yeah, your plate's leaking.
Oh, is that all it is? Yeah.
I didn't see it on that side.
No. So that one's good. Weird, I couldn't hear that through the headphones there. Okay, we'll have to just seal that and give it another go.
Do you have to whip it off and seal it?
May as well.
Okay, sealed up again. Not leaking there now. But we're at 3 bar currently. Pretty much spot on. Let's see whether that goes down. Now this is obviously not what you want to really do generally, but seeing as it's contaminated with water anyway.
Well, the constantly bubbling.
Yeah, this all obviously needs a good clean anyway, but we're still holding 3 bar.
Yeah. Yeah, solid.
Maybe we fixed it.
I mean, how much pressure can we put it before something explodes?
Well, you never see that amount of pressure. You never see 3 bar,
But
would you?
I mean, your cap will vent at normally about 1.2.
And yeah, we're still, I mean, that's what, 5 minutes now? Held 3 bar. I guess there's only one thing left to do. Whip it apart. Heads off. And some really strange stuff going on.
It's not good news.
It's not good news, but it is almost good news because there's something wrong.
There's definitely a problem.
There's a few things going on. Let's start at the beginning. So, when the heads were removed, a strange thing happened. What was it, Jay?
Well, when we were taking these studs out of these top row of holes, behind each one of these there's pressure, especially these front ones. So you get a psh as you took the head stud out.
Yeah.
Which
progressively like worse towards the front two cylinders, both sides of the block. So pretty damn strange there, but we had read somewhere that some people have had to seal the head studs in.
Which apparently you don't do on an LS.
Yeah. However, next thing, can you see the weird pattern there? And it's not obviously where water would sit here, but it almost looks like rusty. And these, to our knowledge, it's very difficult to remember because it was a while ago.
They were clean and honed when we put it together.
Yeah, we did not notice anything like that, and that is the same on the front of all cylinders. Same goes for this side. You can
Some
see
are worse than others.
Yeah, some are worse than others. Again, you can see this weird marking there. And on these two cylinders, do you want to spin it round? We've got what we kind of expected to see in some ways. We've got some scoring on, this was the cylinder with the lowest compression.
This one's the worst scoring.
That one looks kind of, yeah, can you see that? You can still see the honing marks, but the scoring in there.
It's not finger scoring, is it?
No,
but, you know, for an
but there's
engine that's
something.
ran for like an hour.
Yeah, but then we did, like we say, our dirty little secret, we reused the rings because somebody, I think it was probably Craig's fault. Cause
He's blaming me because I pressed the button on the order, but I had no idea what I was doing.
Somebody ordered 4165 rings, and yeah, there you go. You can see that, but yeah, funnily enough, that cylinder doesn't have that brown marking that the other ones do.
No, there's a couple that doesn't, but that one's got the worst compression, hasn't it?
Yeah. So that's number 2 thing that's weird. Number 3, and possibly the most significant, is you'll see this straight edge, and my trusty assistant will demonstrate with the use of this torch and this straight edge. So if you kind of put pressure against one cylinder's worth here, that's not so good. Okay, so it gets progressively worse. We've got a longer one. We've just
Yes, we get the long one.
yeah. And I'll put it. There we go. And we did doubt our straight edges. We did check 3. Yeah. So I think I'll put it like that. So I held it over a cylinder's worth.
When you got it?
Yeah.
So you can see clearly there.
Yeah.
Clearly
it's
there.
worse.
But then not. It touches
like,
right on that.
Yeah, but you can clearly see that
It's not flat.
it's not flat. And then the same goes for this side.
I think this side is worse.
And this side was the one that was better than the others. So again, I'm holding it down, pushing onto one cylinder there, and you can see there, gap.
But look at the gap there.
And the gap at the back here.
It's like it's machined at an angle.
It's like, almost like the liners have moved. Like, it's almost...
Trouble we've got is we never checked this.
No, because we never had any doubt, but then we also, because everything's happened over such a long period of time, we're talking like, is it 5 years this has sat? So we had a problem with the harmonic balancer. We had a different one on it before, and it ran the main bearings, but it also ran the cam bearings, and we've had to have oversized OD cam bearings, and this has been line bored by David Knight. He is like top notch. We've used him for years. I can't see how he would have delivered this to us
If
not decked.
But we might not have asked for it. I don't know. The heads definitely were.
We might have just not thought that would be a problem. But
The heads were 100% clean and machined put together. But I don't know about the block.
I went to the water thing that we're mentioning on. The head stud thing, where these had significant pressure behind the head studs, particularly on cylinder 1 and cylinder 2 here. If you actually look at the heads here, Craig noticed this. So look at the difference here.
Clean the carbon off the
This looks like it's been washed. Both of these look like they've been washed. This one's slightly more washed, and these two are not. Again, washed, slightly washed. These two are not. Yeah. Just told Craig this. His text back to me was, "It's scrap."
Well, you sort of expected it, to be fair. It doesn't seem worth spending money on this questionable block.
This is the thing, because there's just too many questions to ask at this point.
And we've never had much luck with it.
We have not had any luck with it, but it cost an absolute fortune, and I think the stubbornness has, that's caused problems, because obviously it cost a lot of money. I want to reuse it, but there is potentially a dart option, a really, really expensive dart option from, if Jay moves his hand, Billy's. They may be able to get it to us. So yeah, I think that's where I'm at the moment.
Well, we've got to strip it completely.
Yeah, we've got to have a look at it.
We need to have a look at the crank.
Yeah, because this oil, obviously, that is no good. There's a strong chance that we will have damaged the bearings to a degree. Have we damaged the crank? Because I think the crank, I've already undersized it once. So yeah, let's probably strip down the rest and see where we end up. Please be good, please be good. Oh, looks good.
The bearing doesn't look bad.
Yeah, it looks really good. What's the...
Oh, I don't know, it's got a bit more wear than you'd expect for an hour of running, but...
Wow, water.
Yeah, maybe.
Look at that, pointing at that. No, that's good. There's no pickup there.
There's no score, it's just taking
Obviously,
the coating off instantly.
Yeah, the other side's the one that we need to have a proper look at, but that does look...
Let's just remove that.
It looks pretty damn good. ACL bearings. Obviously doing their best work, even with water in the oil. It's been another day.
It has.
Oh, you'll probably notice it's a hell of a lot cleaner here. Well done, Jay.
Put some tools away.
We stopped treading in all of the milky oil.
Yeah.
And yes, we are now down to completely disassembled. And some more things have come to light. I think we showed you the deck. And it appearing to be uneven with our straight edge. Obviously our straight edge is not like a calibrated thing, but we did try 3 straight edges, and at no point could we get any of them to sit straight in a line here. So there is some possible suspicion of liners moving. I just don't know how likely that is. I don't know whether that's also one of the things that people were saying on the internet about these RHS blocks, the early ones. It might have been something I read before. But also, when this is cleaned up, check this out. In the bores, not only have we got this weird looking thing here, but if you look there, look at that funny mark. Look at the same thing here, and you can just see below that, there's kind of like a line going this way in some of them as well. Mark there. What's that? That looks like an actual hole. It does not come off. I mean, maybe we can see more by getting the camera in there. No, we can't. But anyway, there's some funny things going on with these liners. Some very funny marks. I can't feel that. But yeah, some very strange stuff. This one was a little bit scored, the bore on this side anyway, but it is, all of them have this.
And that's from this run. They were clean and looked before we put it together.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't obviously go at it like with a magnifying glass, but this looked like a freshly, lightly honed, ready to go block when we put it together. And these marks, some of them go away, but yeah, very, very strange. So we've done a bit of research on options. So options wise, new liners, heavy machining process, 8 weeks I think we were quoted, if we have the parts. I mean, maybe we could find somebody else to do it quicker, but then I'm still like not 100% on whether that I'm ever going to trust that thing.
You could spend whatever it's going to cost £1,500 on machining and it'd still be scrapped.
Yeah, so I think what the process is going to be for this block is that we are going to give it to David Knight. He is going to do a hot pressure test on it, and obviously inspect the decks properly with his calibrated straight edge. And we're going to sort of do a little bit of further investigation with this thing that's not going to cost the earth, but we're not going to use it ideally because I have just done the horrible thing of hitting the button and saying go to Phil from Billy Speed Shop on a Dart replacement block. He found one for us because they're out of stock at Dart, and he's found one at one of his suppliers in the US. They have one on the shelf. It comes in 4-inch, I think, so we need to still get that to David Knight to bore to 4165, which is what our pistons were. There was some confusion on that. So we're going to do that, get that board, get new piston rings in those pistons, use our same rotating assembly. However, we do need to also inspect.
Well, we need to take in the crank.
Yeah, because this is already a -10 crankshaft on mains and rods.
It was freshly polished before it's run this time as well.
Yeah, and all of them look okay, like definitely light polish solves all of this visually as far as I can see, but it's a bit hard to see on camera. But yeah, that one, I don't think I'm massively concerned about it. I think it probably will still polish up, but I would like David Knight to tell me that rather than my eyes and fingernail. Cam bearings were perfect, so that all came out lovely. What else? Heads. Tell us all about the heads, because there's actually a bit of a extra story with this as well, and it starts with explaining that all of the parts for this engine, including these heads, the last time we used them was
there was probably 2016,
2016
maybe,
and they have since then sat on a shelf in various states of ready to go or waiting for intake valves.
For, I don't know, probably a year.
Yeah.
You know, we just dumped them there, didn't we?
Yeah. They had the block, that was all done. They had the cylinder heads, but the cylinder heads came back to us with the exhaust valve still in, and I didn't even think about it. They were not lapped in, so they were basically as they were last run.
Yeah.
So here's me thinking, freshly skimmed cylinder head. We're putting our new inlet valves that we finally got. We're putting them into the kind of ready to go, brand new-ish heads. But actually, it turns out that the exhaust valves were leaking, as you saw in the compression test number 7. This one was not so great. We were hearing lots of noise out the exhaust when we were doing the leak down. And Jay's just been working on lapping them in.
What's it? Job of the apprentice, isn't it? Lapping valve.
Is that the one, is it? Go on, show us what it's all about.
Well, this one we can see. I've given it a quick go.
And Jay always starts with the drill.
No, I've done it properly today.
Have you?
Yeah.
It's kind of okay, you said to start with the drill, didn't you?
I mean, don't listen to what I say.
Okay.
But yeah, you can see there, it was, I mean, when I started, it was just black.
Yeah.
So I've gone one course on it.
Focus. No, you can't really see, but yeah. Oh, there you go, that's a bit better. So, yeah, you can see the line there. We are going to go at it a little bit more, but the question is, do we need to have these recut? I think they'll probably go.
I hope not. No, I've already done these two, because that was a waste of time for cutting them.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so, again, I'm really quite surprised at the horsepower that this thing was making, considering we had a pretty big...
Well, I'll see if it makes any difference.
Yeah.
I suppose the heads still flow a lot, whatever's going on.
Yeah, they do. And the cam's strong. It's a Mamo Motorsports cam and valve springs and rocker setup that we probably bought. That was probably 5 years ago as well. But yeah, it seems to do pretty well. I just hope that we can, this time round, get the reliability that we've always craved with this thing. Because it runs sweet when it runs and doesn't eject crank seals. One of the things that we also learnt was from the Peterson website about a pop-off valve.
So we have a vacuum regulator on one.
Yeah, so on our rocker cover on this side, we pointed it out before, you got this vacuum regulator, which obviously does what it says on the tin. It regulates the amount of air that goes into the rocker to basically keep vacuum where you want it. So we ideally want 5 to 7 psi negative, I think is what we're looking for. But what this pop-off valve does, which we're going to put on the other rocker cover, is that actually if it sees positive 2 psi, it just pops off like a blow-off valve.
And that should keep the seals in.
Yeah, it should help keep the front rear crank seals in. Now, obviously, it shouldn't do that anyway. There is no real reason why a working healthy engine running a dry sump should ever see positive crankcase pressure or over a certain amount.
I don't know if you mentioned in the video, but the pump's gone back to daily.
Yeah, so they do a service. I've already sent that one off. So yeah, we've gone at it pretty hard.
Yeah, big bills, not much progress.
And, well, there is lots of progress, because actually, in many ways, this is the way that we would have liked to have done it in the first place, not having that mad rush. We actually got a bit of time to really look into this stuff in detail, because we haven't got the same panic that we had before. And I have no regrets about rushing to get the car ready, because we did so much work in such a short amount of time, and everything, well, basically, like you said, all the work we did was fine. It's just Craig's bit. And now it's costing me another 10,000 quid or something like that. But
because you didn't want a steel block, which is over there.
Yeah. Which I was pretty unhappy the other day, and I was almost entertaining that idea again. But then that steel block. So we've got an LSX that needs a bit of a recon with new bearings. Might need a polish on the crank and stuff, but I can sell that for like 8.5 grand quite easily.
An engine,
So I figured it probably didn't make sense to take that apart and make just a pile of parts. I should probably man logic my way through the whole thing and spend more money and then sell that.
So if anyone wants an LSX, it's in need of a slight refresh.
It's good. That's the one that was in the car that we never had any problems with. Makes good, strong power. Not like this. It doesn't have the same cam in it, but it's got a big cam in it, and it's got the best cam and valve train setup that we could get at the time, whilst retaining hydraulic lifters. So pretty simple motor, should be pretty stout. As I say, I think it needs a new set of bearings and maybe a polish on the crank. Let us know if you're interested. It's 8.5 grand, which is, I think, a pretty decent price.
The cost of a block.
Anyway, lots and lots of spending. So this is the bit where Joe reminds you to please buy stuff from us. Not mugs, buy real stuff, buy wheels, coilovers. I always joke, but I do appreciate every single bit of support that you give us through buying through Driftworks.com. But my God, this has been a costly couple of months, so it's extra appreciated.
If you win to sit, you won't have to do anything.
But thank you very much for watching and sticking with us throughout this process. It's probably pretty boring to a lot of people, but this is the gritty detail that a lot of people won't show you. It'll just magically appear in your engine. We'd rather show you what we learn, because we're not experts. We're sort of dealing with this as we go. Doing the best that we can. So hope you enjoy. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.